Hey, what is up, everybody? We are gonna start a little early, only because I am my niece is coming over. Or well, my friend's coming over with my niece and whatever. So they're gonna be dropping some stuff off. So we're gonna just start a little early right now, and then yeah. So yeah, we are gonna start right now, and this live in we are reading Coraline. Continue Coraline, not Caroline, and that is a joke. Uh, to the book. So we're gonna start right now. I'm so glad the bot fixed itself because earlier it did not fix itself and it was really annoying. I'm glad it fixed itself. Thank you, Mr. Bot, for fixing yourself. Is the mic working? Cool. Cool. Okay, here we go. So last we were at Coraline was the last thing we read. She fled the other Miss Spink and Miss Forcible and got out of their apartment and got the other what do you call it? The other little stone. She was looking for the other ghost child's like little stone thing. So the other ghost child basically. So that is what we found. So yay. Hi Raptor, how are you? So we're going right into it. Outside, the world had become a formless, swirling mist with no shapes or shadows behind it, while the house itself seemed to have twisted and stretched. It seemed that Coraline that it was crouching and staring down at her, as if not really a house, but only the idea of a house, and the person who had the idea, she was certain, was not a good person. Blah. I get it, After. There was a sticky web of stuff clinging to her arm. She wiped it off best she could. The gray windows and the house slanted at strange angles. The other mother was waiting for her, standing on the grass, folding her arms. Her button eyes were expressionless, and her lips were pressed tightly together as if cold fury. Hold on. Sorry. I sneezed like 4 times. Sorry about that. The other mother... Oh, I said that already, sorry. When she saw Coraline, she reached out one of her long white hand and crooked a finger. Coraline walked toward her, and the other mother said nothing. I got 2, said Coraline. One's soul still to go. The expression on the other mother's face did not... I always skip a page. Said butt knives. I did not say butt knives. The other mother's face did not change. She might have not heard what Coraline said. Well, I just thought you might want to know. Sorry about that. Said Coraline. Said Coraline. Thank you, Coraline, said the other mother coldly, and her voice did not come from her mouth. It came from the mist and the fog and the house and the sky. She said, "You know I love you." And despite herself, Coraline nodded. It was true. The other mother loved her, but she loved Coraline as a mist loves money, or a dragon loves its gold. In the other mother's button eyes, Coraline knew she was a possession, nothing more. A tolerant pet, whose behavior was no longer amusing. I don't want your love, said Coraline. I don't want anything from you. Not even a helping hand, asked the other mother. You have been doing so well after all. I thought you might want a little hint to help you find the rest of your treasure hunt. I'm doing fine on my own, said Coraline. Yes, said the other mother. But if you want to get into the flat in the front, the empty one, to look around, you would want to find the doors locked, and where would you be? Oh, Coraline pondered this for a moment. Then she said, "Is there a key?" The other mother stood there in the paper gray fog of the flattening world. Her black hair drifted about her head as if sorry about that. As if it had minded a purpose of its own. She coughed. Suddenly, it backed up her throat, and then she opened it. The other mother reached her hand out and removed a small brass front door key from her tongue. "Here," she said. "You'll need it to get in." She tossed the key casually towards Coraline, who caught it one-handed before she could think whether or not she wanted it or not. The key was slightly damp. A chill blew about them, and Coraline shivered and looked away. When she looked back, she was alone. Uncertain, she walked around the front of the house and stood in front of the door of the empty flat. Like all the doors were painted bright green. "She does not mean you well," whispered a ghost voice in her ear. "We do not believe she would want to help you. It must be a trick." Coraline said, "Yes, you're right. I expect that." Then she put the key in the lock and turned it. Slightly, the door swung open, and silently, Coraline walked in. I said that, the dog stood up and scared the absolute shit out of me. That was not good timing. And the hairs on the back of my neck just stood up. That scared the shit out of me. Jesus Christ. Dog! Not good timing. The flat had walls of the color of old milk, and the wooden boards on the floor were uncarpeted and dusty with the marks and patterns of old carpet and rugs on them. There was no furniture in there, only places where furniture had once been. Nothing decorated the walls. There was discolored rectangles on the walls that showed where paintings and photographs once hung. It was so silent that Coraline imagined that she could hear the motes of dust drifting through the air. She found herself to be quite worried that something would jump out at her, and she began to whistle. She thought it would make it harder for things to jump out at her while she was whistling. First, she walked through the empty kitchen. Then she walked through the empty bathroom, containing only a cast-iron bath, and in the bath a dead spider, the size of a small cat. That's a big-ass spider. Just saying, the size of a small cat. That's a big-ass spider. I'm just saying. The last room she had looked at, she supposed once had been a bedroom. She could have imagined that the rectangle dust shadow on the floorboards had once been a bed. Then she saw something. She smiled grimly. Set into the floorboards was a metal ring. Coraline knelt, took the cold ring in her hands. She tugged upward as hard as she could. Trembled slowly, stiffing heavily, hinged square on the floor lifted. It was a trapdoor. It lifted. Through the opening, Coraline could see the darkness. She reached her hand, found a cold switch, and flicked it without much hope it would work. But somehow, below, a bulb lit. A thin yellow light came from the hole in the floor. She could see steps heading down, but nothing else. Coraline put her hand in her pocket and took out the stone with the hole. She looked through the cellar, but saw nothing. She put the stone back in her pocket. Up through the hole came the smell of damp clay and something else. An acidic tank of sour vinegar. Coraline let herself down in the hole, looking nervously at the trapdoor. It was heavy, that if it fell, she was sure to be trapped down there in the darkness forever. She put her hand up and touched it, but it stayed in its position. Then she turned toward the darkness below as she walked down the steps. Set into the wall at the bottom of the steps was another light switch, metal and rusting. She pushed it until it clicked down. A naked bulb hanging from a wire from the low ceiling came on. It did not give enough light even for Coraline to make out things that had been painted onto the flaking cellar walls. The paintings seemed crud. There were eyes. She could see that things that might have been grapes and other things below. Coraline could not have been sure that they were paintings of people. There were piles of rubbish in one corner of the room. Cardboard boxes filling the mildweed papers and decaying. curtains in heap beside them. Coraline's slippers crunched across the cement floor. The bed smell was worse now. She was ready to turn around when she saw a foot sticking out from beneath the pile of curtains. She took a deep breath. The smell of sour wine and moldy bread filled her head. She pulled away the damp clothes to reveal something more or less the size of a shape of a person. In the dim light, it took several seconds to recognize it for what it was. The thing was pale and swollen, like a grub, with thick, stick-like arms and feet. It was almost like no features on its face and was puffed and swollen like rising dough. The thing had two large black buttoned eyes where its eyes should have been. Coraline made a noise, a sound of revulsion and horror. Oh no, I think I know what it is. Coraline made, and as if you heard her awkward and awakened, the thing began to sit up. Coraline stood there frozen. The thing turned its head. Both its black button eyes were pointed straight at her. A mouth opened, its mouthless face straightened, of pale sticking out to its lips, and voice no longer even faintly resembled her father's, whispered, "Coraline." "Well," said Coraline to the thing that once had been the other father, "at least you didn't jump out at me." Sorry, hold on. The creature's twig-like hands moved its face and pushed the pale clay about, making something like a noise. It said nothing. "I'm looking for my parents," said Coraline. "Or stolen soul from the other children. Are they down here?" "There's nothing like that down here," said the pale, indistinctly, nothing but dust and damp and forgetting. The nothing was white and huge and swollen. Monstrous, thought said, but the miserable. She raised the stone with the hole in her eye, looked through it. Nothing. The pail was telling the truth. "Poor thing," she said. "I bet she made you come down here as punishment for telling me too much." The thing hesitated, then it nodded. Coraline wondered how she could ever have imagined that its grub-like thing resembled her father. "I'm so sorry," she said. She's not best pleased," said the thing that once was the other father. "Not best pleased at all. You've put her in quite out of sorts, and when she gets out of sorts, she takes it out on everybody else. It's her way." Coraline patted its hairless head. Its skin was tacky, like warm bread dough. "Poor thing," she said. "You just a thing she made and threw away." The thing nodded vigorously. As it nodded, the left button fell off and clattered into the concrete floor. The thing looked around vacantly with its one eye, as if it had lost her. Finally it saw her, and if making a great effort, it opened its mouth once more and said in a wet, urgent voice, "Run, child, leave this place. She wants me to hurt you, to keep you here forever, so you can never finish the game, and she will win. She is pushing me so hard to hurt you. I cannot fight her." "You can," said Coraline. "Be brave." She looked around. The best thing he had been the other father was between her and the steps up out of the cellar. She started edging along the wall, heading towards the steps. The thing twisted bulbously until one of the eyes facing her. It seemed to be getting bigger and now more awake. "Alas, I cannot." It lunged across the cellar toward her, its toothless mouth opened wide. Coraline had a single heartbeat, to which it reacted. She could only think of two things to do. Either she could scream and try to run away, chase around a badly lit cellar, this huge grub thing, and chase until it caught, or at least do something. So she did something. As she reached the cellar, Coraline put her hand out and closed it around the thing's remaining button eyes as she tugged as hard as she knew how. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the button came away and flew from the hand, clicking against the walls before it fell to the cellar floor. The thing froze in place. It threw its pale head back blindly, opened its mouth horribly wide as it roared in anger and frustration. Then it rushed. The thing swept toward the place where Coraline had been standing. But Coraline was not standing there any longer. She was already tiptoeing as quietly as she could up the steps that would take her away from the dim cellar where crud paintings were on the wall. She could not take her eyes from the floor beneath her. Threw across the pale thing, flopped with heed hunting for her. Then, as if it was being told what to do, the creature stopped moving as its blind head tipped to one side. It's listening for me, thought Coraline. It must be extra quiet. She took another step. Her foot slipped on the step. The thing heard her. Its head tipped forward. For a moment it swayed and seemed to gather its wits. Then, fast as a serpent, it slithered for the steps and began to flow up them toward her. Coraline turned and ran wildly up half a dozen steps. And then she pushed herself onto the floor, dusty bedroom without pausing. She pulled the heavy trapdoor toward her and let go of it. It crashed down with a thump as something large banged against it. The trapdoor rattled, but it stayed where it was. Coraline took a deep breath. If there had been any furniture in the flat, even a chair, it would have pulled it onto the trapdoor, but there was nothing. She walked onto the flat as she could without actual ever wanting. She locked the front door behind her. She left the key under the mat, and then she walked down onto the drive. She had half expected the other mother would have been standing there waiting for Coraline to come out, but the world was silent and empty. Coraline wanted to go home. She hugged herself and told herself she was brave, and almost believed herself, and then she walked alongside the house in the gray mist that wasn't a mist, and she made for the stairs to go up. Okay, so really quickly, that went really well. That was a little choppy, so I do apologize, but she escaped. The other father tried to help her as best he could, for what it was worth. Let me go find out something really quick. I may have to pause really quickly to go answer my door. If that's the case, it's just gonna be, just a silent live for a second, and I do apologize because, like I said, I gotta answer my door real fast. I hope you guys are enjoying the book. My goal is to finish it today. We are really, extremely close to being done, unbelievably close, so I think we're just gonna keep going until I'm told otherwise, so. Coraline walked up the stairs outside the building to the topmost flat, where in her world the crazy old man lived upstairs. She had gone up there once with the real mother, where her mother was collecting for charity. They had stood in the open doorway, waiting for the crazy old man with the big mustache to find an envelope that Coraline's mother had left. And the flat had smelled of strange food and pipe tobacco and odd, sharp, cheesy smelling things Coraline could not name. She had not wanted to go any farther inside. "I'm an explorer," said Coraline out loud, but her words sounded muffled and dead on misty air. She had made it out of the cellar, hadn't she? And she had. But if there was one thing that Coraline was certain of, that the flat would be worse. She reached the top of the house. The topmost flat had been once the attic of the house, but that was long ago. She knocked on the green painted door, and it swung open as she walked in. Yeah. So in this book, there's a picture, and it's of the probably other Bobinsky. Well, of the other person that lives on the top. I don't even know if he has a name. Okay, it's okay, Raptor. You good? We have eyes. We have nerves. We have tails. We have teeth. You all get what you deserves. We have rise from underneath, whispered a dozen or more tiny voices in the dark flat, with the roof so low where the walls that Coraline could almost reach the top and touch. Red eyes stared at her. Little pink feet scurried away as she came close. Darker shadows slipped through the shadows at the edge of things. It smelled worse in here than the real crazy old man's upstairs flat. The smell of food, unpleasant food of Coraline's mind, she knew the matter of taste. She did not like the spice, herbs, exotic things. The place smelled of all exotic foods in the world had been left out here to go rot. Little girl, said a rustling voice from far away. Yes, said Coraline. I'm not frightened, she told herself, as she thought she knew it was true. There was nothing to be frightened of. These things, even things in the cellar, were illusions. They were made by the other mother in a ghastly parody of the real people, real things on the other end of the corridor. She could not truly make, decided Coraline. She could only twist and copy and distort things that already existed. And then Coraline found herself wondering why the other mother would have placed a snow globe on the drawing room mantelpiece for a mantelpiece in Coraline's world, quite bare. As soon as she asked herself the question, realized that there was actually an answer. The voice came again, and train of thought was interrupted. Come here, little girl. I know that you want, little girl. It was a rustling voice, scratchy and dry. It made Coraline think of a kind of enormous dead insect, which was silly, she knew. How could a dead thing, especially a dead insect, have a voice? She walked through several rooms with low, slanting ceilings until she came into the final room. It was a bedroom with a crazy old man upstairs at the far end of it, in the room near the darkness, balding up in his coat. And Coraline entered and began to talk. Nothing's changed, little girl, he said, his voice sounding like a dry noise dry leaves make as they rustle across the pavement. And what if you do everything you swore you would? What then? Nothing changed. You'll go home. You'll be bored. You'll be ignored. No one will listen to you. Not really listen to you. You're too clever. You're too quiet for them to understand. They don't even get your name right. Stay here with us, said the voice from the figure at the end of the room. We will listen to you, and play with you, and laugh with you. Your other mother will build a whole world for you to explore and tear them down every night. When you are done, every day will be better and brighter than the other day before. Remember the toy box? How much better would a world be we built like that for you? And will there be gray, wet days where I just don't know where to do and nothing to read or watch and nowhere to go and days drag on forever? Asked Coraline from the shadows, and the man said, Never. And there will be awful meals with food made from recipes and garlic and tarragon and broad beans? Asked Coraline. Every meal will be a thing of joy, whispered the voice from underneath the man's hat. Nothing will pass your lips that does not entirely delight you. And I could have a day-glow green gloves to wear, yellow Wellington boots in the shape of frogs? Asked Coraline. Frogs, ducks, right. frogs, ducks, rhinos, octopus, whatever you desire. I almost ripped the book, my bad. Got a little too into the book. The world will be built for new every morning. If you stay here, you can have whatever you want. Coraline sighed. You don't really understand, do you? Said Coraline. I don't want whatever I want. Nobody does. Not really. What kind of fun would it be if you got everything I ever wanted? Just like that. I didn't mean anything. What then? I don't understand, the whispery voice. Of course you don't understand, raising the stone in the hole in her with the hole in her eye. You're just a bad copy she made of the crazy old man upstairs. Not even that anymore, said the dead whispery voice. There was a glow coming from the raincoat of the old man at about chest height. Through the hole, the glow twinkled, and it shone blue-white as a star. She wished she had a stick or something to poke him with. She had no wish to get any closer to the shadowy man at the end of the room. Hotto! Hi, Hotto! Hotto, aren't you supposed to be working? And I'm not ripping books. I just got a little too into the book. Shh, we don't talk about that. Coraline stepped closer to the man as he fell apart. Black rats leapt from sleeves from under the coat and hat. A score or more of them, red eyes shining in the dark. They chattered as they fled. The coat fluttered and fell heavily to the floor. The hat rolled into the corner. Coraline reached out one hand and pulled the coat open. It was empty, although it was greasy to the touch. There was no sight of the final glass marble in it. She scanned the room, squinting through the hole in the stone. As she caught sight of something twinkled as it burned like a star at the floor by the door. It was being carried in the four paws of the largest black rat as she looked as it slipped away. The rats watched her from the corners of the room as she ran after it. Now the rats can run faster than people, especially over short distances. But a large black rat holding the marble in its two front paws is no match for a determined little girl, even she is small for her age, moving as it ran. Really fun fact. Black rats with red eyes, that's actually, like, genetically, that's not very common. Usually it's white rats with red eyes is more common than black. Usually a black rat with black eyes is a little more common with black eyes, and black rat with red eyes is a lot less common. It can happen, but it's not as common than a white rat with red eyes is a little more common. No, you can listen to me. I prefer that than music. I love you, babe. I already lost my place. Hold on. Smaller rats ran back and forth across the path, trying to distract her, but she ignored them, kept her eyes fixed on the one rat with the marble, who was heading straight out the flat toward the front door. They reached the steps outside the building. Coraline had time to observe that the house itself was continuing to change, becoming less distinct, flattening out. As she raced down the steps, it reminded her of a photograph of the house, now not itself. Then she was simply racing pell-mell down the steps in pursuit of the rat, with no room in mind for anything else. Certain she was gaining on it, she was running faster, too fast. Okay, thanks, babe. She discovered as she came to the bottom of one flight of stairs, her foot skidded and twisted as she came crashing onto the concrete landing. Her left knee was scraped and skinned, and palm of her one hand thrown out to the steps of the palm. Whoopsies, I went up. Palm of one hand thrown out to stop her from mess of scraped skin and grit. It hurt a little, and it would. She knew it soon hurt too much. She picked the grit out of her palm and climbed onto her feet as fast as she could, knowing that she had lost already and it was too late. She went down the final landing to the ground level. She looked around for the rat, but it was gone, and the marble with it. She hand she hand struck she hands stung her hand stung where the skin had been scraped, and there was blood trickling down where her ripped pajama leg from her knee, and it was bad. It was bad as the summer her mother had been training. God damn it! It was as bad as the summer her mother had been taking the training wheels off Coraline's bike, but then back then it was all cuts and scrapes. Her knees had been scabs on top of scabs. She had a feeling of achievement. She was learning something, doing something, and had not known what she was doing. She had felt nothing could have been lost. She had failed the ghost children. She had failed her parents. She had failed herself. Failed everything. She closed her eyes. She wished that the earth would swallow her. There was a cough. She opened her eyes, saw the rat. It was lying on the brick path at the bottom of the stairs. To her surprise on its face, which was now several inches away from the rest of it. Its whiskers were stiff. Its eyes were wide open. Its teeth visible, yellow and sharp. A collar of wet blood glistening off its neck. Beside it, the decapitated rat, a smug expression on its face, the black cat. It rested one paw on the gray glass marble. I think I mentioned once, said the cat. I don't like rats at the best of the time. It looked like you needed this one, however. I hope you don't mind me getting involved. I think, said Coraline, trying to catch her breath, I think that you may have said something sort of. The cat lifted its paws with the marble which rolled towards Coraline. She picked it up. In her mind, a final voice whispered urgently, She lied to you. She will never give you up now. She has you. She will no more give you up than change her nature. The hairs on Coraline's back prickled up. Coraline knew the girl's voice told her the truth. She put the marble in her dress gown pocket with the others. She had all 3 marbles now. All she needed to do was find her parents. Okay. Sorry about that, Juan. Don't lose my spot. Don't lose my spot. Okay. Coraline realized with a surprise that bit was very easy. She knew exactly where her parents were. If she had stopped to think, she might have known where they were all along. The other mother could not create. She could not only transform and twist, not change. The mantelpiece in the drawing room back at home was quite empty, but not knowing that, she knew something else well. The other mother, she plans to break her promise. She won't let us go, said Coraline. I wouldn't put it past her, admit the cat. Like I said, there's no guarantee she'll play fair. And she raised her head. Hello, did you see that? What? Look behind you, said the cat. The house had flattened out even more. It's no longer looked like a photograph, more like a drawing, a crude charcoal scribble of a house drawn on gray paper. Whatever is happening, said Coraline. Thank you for helping with the rat. I suppose I'm almost there, aren't I? So you go off into the mist or whatever. You go well, I hope I'll get to see you at home if she lets me go. The cat's fur was on end and its tail bristling like a chimney sweep's brush. What's wrong? asked Coraline. They've gone, said the cat. They aren't there anymore. The ways in and out to this place, they went flat. Is that bad? The cat lowered its tail, swishing side to side. It made a low growl noise back to its throat. It walked in circles facing away from Coraline, then began to walk backwards stiffly, step at a time. until pushing back Coraline's leg. She she put a down hand to stroke it, to feel how hard its heart was beating, trembling like a dead leaf in a storm. "You'll be fine," said Coraline. "Everything's going to be fine. I'll take you home." The cat said nothing. "Come on, cat," said Coraline. She took a step back towards the steps, but the cat stayed where it was, looking miserable and oddly much smaller. "If the only way out is past her," said Coraline, "then the only way we're going." She went back to the cat, bent down to pick it up. The cat did not resist. It simply trembled. She supported its bottom with one hand and rested its front legs and shoulders. The cat was heavy, but not too heavy to carry. It licked its palm and hand where the blood was scraped, was welling up. Coraline walked up the steps and headed back. She was aware of the marbles clicking in her pocket, aware of the stone with the hole in it, aware of the cat pressing against itself. She got to the front of the door, and now just a small child scrawled the door. She pushed her hand against it in a half, expecting her hand would rip through it, revealing nothing behind it but blackness and scattering stars, but swung the door open and Coraline went through. Okay, so really quick, I will be right back. So I'm going to mute myself, and I will be right back, okay? Okay, so my niece is going to be here soon. I'm not going to end the stream, but I'm going to go take a bathroom break real fast, and I will be back shortly. I will interact with you guys in the chat, and then I will be back shortly, okay? So behave, and I will see you guys in a few, okay? Alright, House Thus Fury is done. I am ready to read. You might hear my dogs barking in the background, so I do apologize. Alright, so again, I will give you guys an extra 10. For that matter, I might actually give you an extra 20 because, good God, that was not supposed to go as long as it did. I do apologize. We're gonna go for 12:50 today because, man, that was not supposed to go as long as it was. So I do apologize. That was not supposed to happen. I was not expecting what was going to happen, but it happened. So basically, I've been babysitting my niece a lot. So in exchange, I got a gift card for a favorite place of mine. Not a sponsor, but Sweets and Geeks. So I'm very excited. Yeah, they dropped it off for grocery shopping, and so I'm very excited. But with that being said, I was outside dealing with that. I locked the dogs in my office for a few minutes. So, okay. With that being said, we are ready to read. So, Raptor, I am back. You will hear my voice. At least I hope you can hear my voice. So, we are back at it. So, we're going to keep reading. We're actually almost done with the book. Just FYI, we're literally almost done with the book. So, okay. So, Coraline, I don't even remember what the hell we stopped at. Picked up the kid. You'll be fine. She picked up the cat. We're good. Okay. Once inside her flat, or rather in the flat that was not hers, Coraline was pleased to see that it had not transformed into the empty drawing that was the rest of the house had become in depth in the shadows, and who stood in the shadows waiting for her to return. If I did 500,000 minutes, Raptor, I would be not only late for work, I would probably be fired. But be glad you know what? I started reading and then I stopped because Raptor got me distracted. I will be nice because normally I am a nice person anyway. But because of just that whole debacle outside, and I can do this, I will go to 1 o'clock today. Okay? I will go to 1 o'clock, okay? Cool. Okay. You're back, said the other mother. She did not sound pleased, and you brought vermin with you. No, said Coraline. I brought a friend. She could feel the cat sniffling under her hands, and were anxious to be away. Coraline wanted to hold on to it like a teddy bear for reassurance, and she knew the cat hated to be squeezed. You're good, Raptor, you're good. And she suspected frightening cats were liable to bite and scratch and provoke in any way, even if they were on your side. You know I love you, said the other mother flatly. You have a very funny way of showing it, said Coraline, as she walked the hallway and turned into the drawing room, steadily stepping, pretending that she could not feel the other mother's blank eyes staring back at her. Her grandmother's formal furniture was still there, painting on the wall, strange fruit, but now the fruit painting had been eaten, and all remained was the bowl with browning core apple, several plums and peach stones, and stem of what was formerly a bunch of grapes. The lion-pawed table ranged carpet with cloth wooden feet, as they were impatient for something. At the end of the room in the corner stood a wooden door, which had once in another place opened a plain brick wall. Coraline tried not to stare at it. The window showed nothing but mist. There it was, Coraline knew, the moment of truth, unraveling time. The other mother had followed her in. She stood in the center of the room, between Coraline and the mantelpiece, and looked down at Coraline with the black button eyes. It was funny. Coraline thought the other mother did not look anything at all like her own mother. She wondered how she had any deceiving into imagining a resemblance. The other mother was huge, almost brushing to the ceiling, pale and the color of spider's belly. Her hair withered, twined about her head, and Her teeth were sharp as knives. "Well," said the other mother sharply, "where are they?" Coraline leaned against the armchair, adjusted the cat in her left hand and right hand into her pocket, pulled out 3 glass marbles. They were frosted gray and clinked together in her palm hand. The other mother reached her fingers for them, but Coraline slipped them back into her pocket. She knew it was true then. The other mother had no intention of letting her go or keeping her word. Entertainment and nothing more. "Hold on," she said. "We aren't finished yet, are we?" The other mother looked daggers, but smiled sweetly. "No, I suppose not. After all, you still need to find your parents, don't you?" "Yes," said Coraline. "I must not look at the mantelpiece," she thought. "I must not even think about it." "Well," said the other mother, "produce them. Would you like to look at the cellar again? I still have some other interesting things hidden down there, you know." "No," said Coraline. "I know where my parents are." The cat was heavy in her arms. She moved it, unhooked its claws from her shoulders as she did. "Where?" "It stands to reason," said Coraline. "I've looked everywhere you've hid them. They aren't in the house." The other mother stood very still, giving away its tight clothes. She might have been a wax statue, even though her hair stopped moving. "So," Coraline continued, both hands wrapped firmly around the cat, "I know where they've been. You've hid them in the passageway between our houses, haven't you? They're behind that door." She nodded towards the door in the corner. The other mother remained a statue, but a hint of smile crept back. "Oh, are they now? Why don't you open it?" said Coraline. "They'll be there all right." It was her only way home. She knew it, but it depended on the other mother's need to gloat, needing not to win, but to show her she had won. The other mother reached her hand out slowly into her apron pocket, produced the iron black key. The cat stirred uncomfortably in Coraline's arms as if he wanted to let down. Just to stay there for a few moments longer, she thought, and wondered if she could hear, "I'll get us both home. I said I would. I promised." She felt the cat relax so slightly in her arms. The other mother walked over to the door, pushed the key into the lock. She turned the key. Coraline heard the mechanism clunk heavily. She was already starting as quietly as she could, stepping back toward the mantelpiece. The other mother pushed down on the door handle and pulled it open, revealing a corridor behind her, dark and empty. "There," she said, waving her hands corridor, the expression of delight. "You're wrong. You don't know where your parents are, do you? They aren't there." She turned and looked at Coraline. "Now," she said, "they're going to stay here forever and always." "No," said Coraline, "I'm not." And hard as she could, she threw the black cat toward the mother, and the other cat toward the other mother. It howled and landed on the other mother's head, clawing, flailing teeth, and bared fierce anger, fur on end. It looked half again as big as it was in the real world. Without wanting to see what was happening, Coraline reached into the mantelpiece, closed her hand around the snow globe, pushing it deep into the pocket of her dressing gown. The cat made a deep yowl, yanked its teeth in the other mother's cheek. She was feeling it. Blood ran from its cuts down her white face, not red blood, but a deep, tearing black stuff. Coraline ran to the door. She pulled the key out of the lock. "Leave her, come on," she shouted. The cat hissed. She scraped claws at the other mother's face. In one wild rake, left black oozing trickled from the mother's nose. Then it sprang down toward Coraline. "Quickly," she said. The cat ran towards Coraline, stepped back into the dark corridor. It was colder in the corridor, like stepping into a cellar on a warm day. The cat. Hey! Sorry, hold on. The real cat's actually getting into something. Hey. The cat hesitated for a moment, then seeing the other mother was coming towards him, it ran. Coraline and stopped by her legs. Coraline began to pull the door closed. It was heavier than she imagined it could be, and pulling it was trying to close the door against a high wind, and then felt something from the other side starting to pull it shut. She thought, as she said it, "Come on, please." And then she felt the door begin to move and pull close against the phantom one. Suddenly, she was aware other people pulled the corridor with her. She could not turn her head to look, but she knew without having to look. "Help me, please," she said. "All of you." The other people in the corridor, 3 children, 2 adults, somehow knew subtly to touch the door. But their hands closed to hers. She pulled big iron door and suddenly felt strong. "Never let up, miss. Hold on strong," whispered a voice. "Pull, girl, pull," whispered another. And then the voice that sounded like her mother's, her own mother's, her real voice, wonderful, infuriating, glorious mother. "Well done, Coraline." And that was enough. The door startled to slip closed and easily as anything. "No," screamed a voice from beyond the door, and no longer sounded even faintly human. Something snatched as Coraline, reaching through the closing gap between the door and the door post. Coraline jerked her head away, but the door began to open once more. "We're going home," said Coraline. "We are? Help me." She ducked, snatched the fingers. They moved through her. The ghost hands lent her strength she no longer possessed. There was a final moment of reassurance, and something was caught in the door. With a crash, wooden door banged closed. Something dropped from Coraline's head height to the floor. It landed sort of scuttling thump. "Come on," said the cat. "This is not a good place to be in. Quickly." Coraline turned her back to the door and began to run as fast and practically through the dark corridor, running her hand along to make sure she didn't bump into anything, to get turned around back in the darkness, up a hill, and ran, and seemed to her went back a long distance than anything could possibly go. The wall she was touching felt warm and yielding now, and she realized it felt like it was covered in fine downing fur. It moved as it was taking a breath. It snatched her hand away from it. Winds howled in the dark. She was scared she would bump into something, and she put her hand on the wall once more. This time what she felt was hot and wet. She put her hand in somebody's mouth. She pulled it back and wailed. Her eyes adjusted to the dark. She could half see as faintly glowing patches ahead of her. 2 adults, 3 children. She could hear the cat, too, pawing in the dark. There was something else. She could suddenly scuttle feet, sending Coraline flying. She caught herself between, using her own momentum to keep up. She knew that if she had fallen in the corridor, she might not get up again. Whatever the corridor was, older by far than the other mother. It was deep, and it knew she was there. The daylight appeared, puffing and wheezing. "Almost there," she thought, encouragingly. Sorry, I'm adjusting how I'm sitting. Give me a sec. But in the light, she discovered that the worst had gone. She was alone. She did not have any time to wonder what happened to them. Breathing for breath, she staggered through the door and slammed it behind her with the loudest, most satisfying bang you can imagine. Coraline locked the door, put the key in her pocket. The black cat was huddled in the faintest corner of the room, of the pink of his tongue showing in his eyes wide. Coraline went over and crouched beside him. "I'm sorry," she said. "I'm sorry I threw you at her, but it was the only way I could distract her enough to get us all out. She would have kept us in her word. She would have." The cat looked up at her, then rested his head on her, licking her fingers and sandpapery tongue. It began to purr. "Then we're friends?" said Coraline. He sat down on one of her grandparents' uncomfortable chairs, and cat sprang into her lap, made itself comfortable. The light came through the picture windows, the real gold light, afternoon daylight, not a white mist light. The sky of robin eggs blue, and Coraline could see trees from beyond. Light green hills, which fade onto the horizon into purple grays. The sky never seemed so sky. The world had never seemed so world. Coraline stared at the leaves on the trees and the patterns on the light and shadows crackled on the trunks on the beech tree outside the window. She looked down at the way of the rich sunlight brushed every hair on the cat's head, turning each whisker whiter gold. Nothing, she thought, had ever been so interesting. As she caught up intrigueness of the world, Coraline barely noticed she was wriggling down, curled cat-like on her grandmother's uncomfortable armchair, nor did she notice she fell asleep into a deep, dreamless sleep. I was gonna say, I thought the book was over. I was a little scared. I'm like, that's a horrible way to end this book, but it's not over yet. Her mother shook her gently awake. Coraline, she said, darling, what a funny place to fall asleep. And really, this room is only for the best. We look all over the house for you. Coraline stretched and blinked. I'm sorry, she said. I fell asleep. I can see that, said her mother. And wherever did the cat come from? She was waiting by the front door when I came in. Shot out like a bullet as I opened it. Probably had things to do, said Coraline. Then she hugged her mother so tightly her arms began to ache. Her mother hugged Coraline back. Dinner in 15 minutes, said her mother. Don't forget to wash your hands. And just look at those pajama bottoms. What did you do to your poor knees? I tripped, said Coraline. She went to the bathroom and washed her hands and cleaned her bloody knees. Put ointment on her cuts and scrapes. She went to her bedroom, her real bedroom, her true... baby, why do you... My immediate thought, Joey Reel from Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh my god. She put her hands in her pockets, dressing gown, and pulled 3 marbles and stones and a key, or hole with a stone with a hole in it, and a black key, and an empty snow globe. She shook the snow globe and watched the glittery snow through the water, the empty world. She put it down and watched the snow fall, covering the place where the couple had once stood. Coraline took a piece of string from her toy box as she stung the black key in the string, then knotted it and hung it around her neck. There, she said. She put some clothes and hid the key in her t-shirt. It was cold against her skin and went into her pocket. Coraline walked down the hallway to her father's study. He had his back turned her, but she knew, just on seeing his eyes, he would turn around. Would be her father's kind gray eyes. She crept over and kissed him on his balding head. Hello, Coraline. Then looked around and smiled. What was that for? Nothing, said Coraline. I missed you. Sometimes, that's all. Oh, good, he said. He put his computer to sleep, stood up, and for no reason at all, he picked Coraline up, and which he had not done in such a long time, not since he had started pointing out to her that he is much too old to be carried. And he carried her to the kitchen. Dinner that night was pizza, even though it had been homemade by our father, so that the crust alternately thick and doughy and raw, or too thin and burnt, even though he had put slices of green pepper on it, along with little meatballs and things, pineapple chunks. Coraline ate the entire slices she had been given. Well, ate everything except for the pineapple chunks. And soon enough it was bedtime. Coraline kept the key around her neck, and she put gray marbles beneath her pillow. And in bed that night she dreamed a dream. It was a picnic under an oak tree, and in the dream a meadow. The sunlight was in the sky, and where distant, fluffy white clouds were in the horizon. The sky above her head was deep, untroubled blue. There was white linen cloth laid on the grass, with bowls piled with food. She could see salads and sandwiches, nuts and fruits, jugs of lemonade, water, and thick chocolate milk. Coraline sat on one side of the tablecloth. 3 other children took us side by side. They were dressed in the oddest clothes. The smallest of them sitting on Coraline's left was his boy, red velvet knee breeches and furry white shirt. His face was dirty while piling his plate with boiled new potatoes and with that look like cold, whole cooked trout. This is the finest picnics, lady, he said. Yes, Coraline, I wondered who organized it. Why, I think it was you, miss, said a tall girl sitting opposite Coraline. She wore a brown rather shapeless dress, and had a brown bonnet which tied beneath her chin. "And we are more grateful for you than ever words can say," she said, eating slices of bread and jam, cutting the bread with a large golden brown loaf of a huge knife, then spooning the on purple jam with a wooden spoon. She had jam all over her mouth. "Ah, this food I have eaten, the best food I've eaten in centuries," said the girl to Coraline's right. She was a very pale child, dressed in what seemed to be a spider webs with circle of glittery silver, with blonde hair. Coraline could have sworn the girl had two wings, the little silver but butterfly wings, but not bird wings, coming from her back. The girl's plate was piled with pretty flowers. She smiled at Coraline, as if she had been a very long time since she had gotten a smile, almost but not quite forgotten how. Coraline found herself liking the girl immediately, and then, in all way dreams, the picnic was done, and playing in the meadows, running and shouting, tossing a glittery ball from one another. Coraline knew it was a dream then, because none of them ever got tired or out of breath. She wasn't sweating. They all laughed and ran and played a game of tag, partly Piggy in the middle, and partly just a magnificent romp. Three of them ran along, while the pale girl fluttered a little over in the hand, swooping down on butterfly wings to grab the ball and swing up into the sky, and she tossed the ball to one another children, and then without word about began spoken, the game was done, and four of them went back to the picnic cloth, where lunch dishes began cleared away, and there were 4 bowls waiting for them, 3 ice cream, one of them honeysuckle flowers piled high. They ate. Leash. "Thank you for coming to my party," said Coraline, "if it is mine." "The pleasure is ours, Coraline Jones," she wiggled, girl nibbling honeysuckle blossoms. "If there were but something we could do for you, to thank you and reward you." "Ah," said the boy with the red velvet breeches and dirty face. He put out his hand, Coraline's hand, with his own. "And it's warm now." "It's the very fine thing you did for us, miss," said the tall girl, and now had smeared chocolate ice cream all around her lips. "I'm just pleased it's all over," said Coraline. Was it her imagination, or did the shadow across the faces of the children at the picnic? The girl, the circlet in the hair. Let's try that again. The wing girl, the circlet in her hair glittering like the star, rested her fingers for a moment on the back of Coraline's hand. "It's over and done for us," she said. "This is our staging post from here. We 3 will set out for uncharted lands, and what comes after no one alive can say." She stopped talking. "But that's a but there. That's a but, isn't there?" said Coraline. "I can feel it, like a rain cloud." The boy on the left tried to smile bravely, but his lower lip began to tremble, and bit his upper teeth and said nothing. The girl in the bonnet sniffled uncomfortably. "Yes, miss." "But I got you 3 back," said Coraline. I got Mom and Dad. I shut the door. I locked it. What more was I meant to do?" The boy squeezed Coraline's hand. She found herself remembering when it began, trying to reassure him when he was a little more a cold memory in the darkness. "Well, you can't give me a clue," said Coraline. "Isn't there something you can tell me?" "The beldam swore by her right hand," she said, the tall girl, "but she lied." "My governess," said the boy, "used to say that nobody is ever given more than the shoulder he or she can bear." He shrugged. He said, when he said this, as if he had not yet made his own mind up whether or not it was true. "Wish me lefties," she said, the winged girl. "Good fortune and wisdom and courage, although you have already shown us. You have all three been blessing and in abundance." "She hates you," blunted out the boy. "She hasn't lost anything for us. She hasn't lost anything for so long. Be wise, be brave, be tricky." "But it's not fair," said Coraline in her dreams angrily. "It's not fair. It should be over." The boy with his dirty face stood and hugged Coraline. "Take comfort in this," he whispered. "Thou art alive. Thou art livest." In her dream, Coraline saw the sun set and the stars twinkling in the sky, the darkening sky. Coraline stood in the meadow and watched as the three children, two of them walking, one of them flying, went away across the grass in the light of the moon. The three of them came to the small wooden bridge over the stream. They stopped there, turned and waved to Coraline, waved back, and what came after was darkness. Coraline woke up in the early hours of the morning, convinced she heard something moving, and unsure, she waited. Something made a rustling noise, came outside her door. She wondered if it was a rat. The door rattled. Coraline chambered out of bed. "Go away," Coraline sharply said. "Go away, or you'll be sorry." Then she paused. Whatever it was scuttled away down the hall. There was something odd and irregular about the footsteps, if they were footsteps. Coraline found herself wondering if perhaps it was a rat with extra legs. "It isn't over, is it?" she said to herself. Then she opened the door. The gray, pre-dawn light showed the whole corridor completely deserted. She went toward the front door, spying a hazy glance at the wardrobe mirror hanging on the wall. At the other end, seeing nothing but her own pale face staring back at her, looking sleepy, serious. Gently reassuring stories came from her parents' room, but the door closed. All the doors off the corridor were closed. Whatever the scuttle was, it had to have been from somewhere. Coraline opened the front door, looked at the gray sky. She wondered how long it would be until the sun came up. One of her dreams had been true thing, not knowing in her heart had been. Something had taken her apart from the shadows under the hall, crouched, detached itself from beneath the couch, and made a scrabbling rush on its long white legs, heading for the front door. Coraline's mouth dropped open in horror as it stepped away as the thing clicked and scuttled past her out of the house, running crab-like onto its many tapping, clicking, furry feet. Scurrying feet. She knew what it was. She knew what it was after. She had seen it many times in the last few days. Reaching, clutching, snatching, popping. Black beetles obtaining into the other mother's mouth. 5-footing crimson nail, the color bone, was the other mother's right hand. It wanted the black key. Yeah, so this is the very last chapter of this book. I just wanted to make sure. Very last chapter of this book. So I don't know how you guys feel. For the people who have actually seen the movie, how very, very different the book to the movie is, because believe it or not, the book and the movie are very different from each other, and they are. As crazy as it sounds, because I know the movie and the book quite well. And they're very different from each other. I mean, there are words, obviously, and I'm not giving anything away, but there are words from the book that are directly in the movie, and I'm not saying where, but they are. I am very proud of you, Raptor. I'm very proud of you. That's awesome. So, alright, here we go. Last chapter. Coraline's parents never seem to remember anything of their time in the snow globe. I just realized something. They just... never mind. Never mind. At least, they never said anything about it. Coraline never mentioned it to them. Somehow she wondered whether they have ever noticed that they lost 2 days in the real world, and came to eventually the conclusion that they had not. Then again, there are some people who kept track of every day and every hour, and people who don't. And Coraline's parents were solidly in the second camp. Coraline had placed the marbles beneath her pillow before she went to sleep the first night home in her own room once more. She went back to bed after she saw the other mother's hand. Although not much time left for sleeping, she rested her head on the pillow. Something scrunched gently as she did. She sat up the pillow over the fragments of the glass marbles. She looked at the remains of the eggshells once found beneath the trees in the springtime, like empty broken robin's eggs, or even delicate wren's eggs, perhaps. Whatever had been inside the serpent's whatever been inside the glass serpents had been gone. Coraline thought the three children waving goodbye in the moonlight, waving before it crossed the silver stream. What? You did say where you said in the book. I did what now? I almost gave something away and I didn't mean to. And I almost did. And I didn't want to give that away. Which is precisely why I shut my mouth when I did. Because I almost gave something away. And I didn't want to for those who have not seen the movie. Because it just confirms something. Even though the book... Like I said, the book and the movie are exactly the same kind of. But, like I said, I've seen both the book. I've seen the movie. I read the book before. And it's very interesting how it goes. But it just confirms something for me that the movie doesn't necessarily confirm, and it just confirmed it for me. And I didn't mean to give that away. It doesn't matter, though, because in the movie, it still shows it. Like I said, because you've just read the book, you know how the movie's going to go, but it's still a good movie regardless. Okay. I already lost my place, goddammit. She gathered up the eggshell thin fragments with care and placed them in the small blue box where she had once held her bracelets her grandmother had given her when she was a little girl. The bracelets had long lost, but the box remained. Miss Spink and Forcible came back from visiting Spink's niece. Coraline went down to see their flat for tea. It was Monday. On Wednesday, Coraline would be back in school. A whole new school year would begin. Miss Forcible insisted on reading Coraline's tea leaves. Well, looks like everything's mostly ship-shape and bristling fashion, lovely, Miss Forcible, said Miss Forcible. Sorry, said Coraline. Everything is coming up roses, said Miss Forcible. Well, almost everything. I'm not sure what that is. She pointed, a clump of tea leaves sticking out from the side of the cup. Miss Spink tutted and reached for the cup. Honestly, Marion, give it over. Let me see. She blinked through the thick spectacles. Oh dear, no. I have no idea what that signifies. It almost looks like a hand. Coraline looked. The clumps of leaves did look like a little hand reaching for something. Hamish the Scotty was hiding under Forcible's chair, and he wouldn't come out. I think he is in some sort of fright, said Miss Spink. He has a deep gash in the side of his poor dear. Poor dear. We'll take him to the vet this late afternoon. I wish I knew what could have done that. Something Coraline knew could have done it. The last week of the holidays, weather was magnificent. Summer itself were trying to make up for miserable weather they had been having by giving them some bright, glorious days before it ended. The crazy old man upstairs called down to Coraline when he saw her coming out of Spink and Forcible's flat. Hey, you! Caroline, he shouted over the railing. It's Coraline, she said. How are the mice? Something has frightened them, said the old man, scratching his mustache. I think it may be There is a weasel in the house. Something is about. I heard it in the night. In my country, I would have put down a trap. Maybe put down a little meat, a hamburger. When the creature comes to feast, then BAM! It would be caught. Never bother me more. The mice are so scared they will not even pick up their little musical instruments. I don't think it wants meat, said Coraline. She put her hand and touched the little black key that hung around her neck. Then she went inside. She bathed herself and kept the key around her neck the whole time she was in the bath. She never took it off anymore. Something scratched at her in the bathroom window after she went to bed. Coraline went to almost asleep, but she slipped out of her bed and pulled open the curtain. A white hand with crimson fingers leapt from the window ledge onto the drain pipe and immediately out of sight. There was deep gouges on the glass on the other side of the window. Coraline slept uneasy at that night, waking up from time to time to plot a plan and ponder, then falling back to sleep, never quite uncertain when her pounding ended and the dream began. One ear always open to the sound of scratching and her window pane or her bedroom door. In the morning, Coraline and her mother, I'm going to have a picnic with my dolls today. Can I borrow a sheet or an old one you no longer need as a tablecloth? I don't think we need one of those, said her mother. She opened the kitchen drawer and handed her napkins and tablecloths. She pondered. Hold on, will do. It was folded up in disposable paper cloth covered in red flowers, left over from some picnic that they had several years ago. That's perfect, said Coraline. I didn't think you played with your dolls anymore, said Miss Jones. I don't, admitted Coraline. They're protective coloration. We'll be back in time for lunch, said Mother. Have a good time. Coraline filled a cardboard box with dolls and several plastic teacups. She filled a jug with water. She went outside. She walked down the road just as she were to go to shops. Before she reached the supermarket, she cut across a fence where the wasteland, alongside an old drive, then crawled underneath a hedge. She had to go under the hedge to 2 journeys in order to not spill the water from the jug. It was long, a roundabout loopy journey, but in the end Coraline was satisfied that she has not been followed. She had come out from behind the dilapidated old tennis court. She crossed over, meadow where a long grass swayed. She found the planks on the edge of the meadow. They were astonishingly heavy, almost too heavy for a girl to lift. Even using all her strength, she managed. She didn't have any choice. She pulled all the planks out of the way one by one, sweating with the effort, revealing a deep, round brick-lined hole in the ground. It smelled of damp and dark. The bricks were greenish and slippery. They spread out the deep tablecloth and laid it carefully over the top of the well, and put a plastic doll cup every foot or so at the edge of the well, and weighted each cup down with water from the jug. She put a doll in the edge of the grass beside the cup, making it look like as much of a tea party as she could, and then she retracted her steps back to the hedge alongside the dusty yellow drive, around the back of the shops, back to the house. She reached up, took the key from around her neck as she dangled it from a string. She knocked on the door of Miss Pink Forcebill's flat. Hello, dear, she said. I don't want to come in. I just wanted to find out how Hamish was doing. The vet says Hamish is a brave little soldier. Luckily, the cut doesn't seem to be infected. We cannot imagine what we would have done if the vet says the animal he thinks has no idea what. Mr. Bobo says he thinks he might have been a weasel. Mr. Bobo? The man in the top flat, Mr. Bobo. Fine old circus family, I believe. Romanian or Slovenian or Slovenian or one of those countries, bless him. I can't even remember them anymore. It never occurred to me that it never occurred to Coraline that the crazy old man upstairs actually had a name. She realized if she had known his name was Mr. Bobo, she would have if she had known his name was Mr. Bobo, how often do you think she would have said his name out loud? Oh, said Coraline to Miss Fink. Mr. Bobo, right. Well, she said a little louder, I'm going to go and play with my dolls over by the old tennis court round back. That's nice, dear. Then she added, confidently, make sure to keep an eye out for the old well, Mr. Lovett. Old well, Mr. Lovett, who was here before your time, said he thought it might go down a half a mile or more. Coraline hoped that the hand who had not heard this the last changed the subject. This key, said Coraline loudly. Oh, it's just some old key I found in the house. It's part of my game. That's why I'm carrying it around with me this whole time. Well, bye now. What an extraordinary child, said Miss Fink as she closed the door. Coraline assembled across the meadow toward the old tennis court, dangling and swinging the key back. Several times she thought something the color of the bone underneath it kept pacing about 30 feet away. She tried whistling, but nothing happened as she sang out loud a song her father made up for her when she was a baby. She thought of it, made her laugh, and went, oh, my twitchy witchy girl, I think you are so nice. I give you bowls of porridge, and I give you bowls of ice cream. I give you lots of kisses. I give you lots of hugs. But I never give you sandwiches with bugs in. That was what she sang as she sought her out through the woods. Her voice hardly trembled. The tea party was where she had left it. She was relieved to not have a windy day, for everything was still in place. Every water-filled plastic cup weighed down the paper tablecloth as it meant to be. She breathed a sigh of relief. Now the hardest part. Hello, dolls. It's tea time. She walked close to the paper cloth. I bought the lucky key to make sure we have a good picnic. And then, as careful as she could, she leaned over and gently placed the key on top of the tablecloth, as she's still holding on to the string. As she held her breath, hoping the cup at the edge would weigh down the cloth without the key collapsing into the well. The key sat in the middle of the paper picnic cloth. Coraline let go of the string and took a step back. Now it was all up to the hand. She turned to the dolls. Who would like a piece of cherry cake? She asked. Jemmy, Pinky, Primrose, she said, serving each doll a piece of invisible cake. From the corner of her eye, she saw something bony white, scrimpy from the one tree trunk to another, getting closer and closer. Jemmy, said Coraline, what a bad girl you are. You dropped your cake. Now I have to go over to get you a whole new slice. As she walked around the tea party until she got to the other side of the hand. Now she pretended to clean up spilled cake to get Gemma another piece. And then, in a chittering rush, it came, running hand high, fingertips scrabbling through onto the tree stump. It stood there for a moment, like a crab tasting the air. Nail clinking leap into the center of the paper tablecloth. Time slowed for Coraline. The white fingertips closed around the black key, and then weight of the momentum of the hand sent the plastic dolls and the plastic dollars flying in the paper tablecloth, and the key. The other mother's hand went trembling down the darkness of the well. Coraline counted slowly underneath her breath. She got up to 40 and heard a muffled splash come from beneath the way. Someone had once told her that if you looked up from the sky from the bottom of the mine shaft, beneath the brightest daylight, you could see a night sky and stars. Coraline wondered if a hand could see stars from where it was. She hauled the heavy planks back into the well,
covered as carefully as she could. She did not want anything to fall in. She didn't want anything to get out. She pulled her dolls and cups back into her cardboard box as she carried them out, or carried them in. Something caught her eye as she was doing this. She straightened up. She saw the black cat stalking her, its tail held up, curling up as a question mark. It was the first time that she had seen the cat in several days since its return back from the other place. The cat walked over and jumped onto the planks and covered the well. Then slowly it winked one eye at her. It sprang down the long grass in front of her, rolled over on its back, wiggling about ecstatically. Coraline scratched and tickled its fur on its belly. When it had enough, it rolled back over once more and walked toward the tennis court in a tiny patch of midday sunlight. Coraline went back to the house. Mr. Bobo was waiting for her in the driveway. He clapped on the shoulder. "The mice tell me that all is good. They say that you are a savior, Caroline." "It's Coraline, Mr. Bobo," said Coraline. "Not Caroline, Coraline." "Coraline," said Mr. Bobo, repeating his name to himself with wonderment and respect. "Very good, Coraline. The mice said that I must tell you as soon as they are ready to perform in public. They will come up to you and watch them for their first audience. They will play trump-diddy-um-diddly-doodly-doo. They will dance and do thousands of tricks. That is what they say." "I would like that very much," said Coraline. "When they are ready." She knocked on Miss Spink and Forcible's door. Miss Spink let her in. Coraline went to their parlor. She put the box of dolls down on the floor. She put her hand in her pocket and pulled out the stone in the hole. "Here you go. I don't need any more. I'm very grateful. I think it may have saved my life and saved some other people's deaths." She gave them both tight hugs, although it barely stretched around Miss Spink, and Miss Forcible smelled like raw garlic and she had been cutting. Then Coraline picked up a box of dolls and went out. "What an extraordinary child," said Miss Spink. "No one hugged her like that since she had retired from theater." That night Coraline laid in bed, all bathed, teeth cleaned, and eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. It was warm enough that now that the hand was gone, she opened her bedroom window. She had insisted her father that her curtains not be entirely closed. Her new clothes were laid out carefully on the chair when she woke. Normally, on the night before the first term, Coraline was apprehensive and nervous, but she realized there was nothing left about school she'd be scared of anymore. She could hear the sweet music of the night air, the kind of music that can be played on the tiniest silver trombones and trumpets, and bassoons and piccolos and tubas so delicate and small, and the keys could be pressed on the tiniest pink little fingers of white mice. Coraline can imagine that she was back again in the dream with two girls and a boy underneath the oak tree in the meadow, and smiled as the first stars came on. Coraline's final allowed her herself to drift into sleep, while gentle upstairs music of Mice Circus spilled out into the warm evening air, telling the world what the summer was almost done. So, that is officially the end of Coraline, the book. So if we really wanted to, we could go into like the questionnaire of like the book and stuff, but we're not going to. But that is Coraline the book. So I really hope you guys enjoyed that, because I freaking enjoyed it. It was great. Like I said, I love Coraline, like, more than you will ever know. Just because of the time we have, we are going to play Sims 4, so we're going to change this all around. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Because I know I enjoyed it, I'm actually kind of thankful we finished. Give me 1 second. Uh, uh-oh. There we go. There's one problem solved. So let's see if we can fix the other problem. Oh no. I don't see me anymore. That's great. There we go. Alright, let's do this. So a lot's changed since last time. We played. Like the house got a little bit bigger. Like, the house got a lot of bit bigger from the last time we played. There's a couple more dogs. Drax's dog, Bart is still alive. Cashew, Smokey's new, and so is Mackie. So, and then we have another kid. We have Mickey. Elliot is still alive. So is Olive. So yeah, we have a couple new kids. So yeah, we have a couple changes. A couple big changes, but a couple changes nonetheless. I need her to go to sleep. Oh, and Eli got a new job. Yeah, Eli, we got her a new job, so. Hey Wolfie, how are you? I don't think I said hi to you officially. I do apologize. How are you? We are playing Sims 4. We actually just finished Coraline. If you did not get to stay for that, that is kind of a bummer because that was actually really fun. Why are you not going to sleep is the question.
we'll throw that away, and then you can finally eat something. I do not, unfortunately, Raptor, have the Pokeball thingy in my chat, which is unfortunate. That is a Hotto thing, unfortunately. That is not a Bisky thing. Are my kids at least awake and functional? Cool. We'll see about that, Raptor. We'll very much see about that. Okay, my dude needs to go back to doing his job. Okay, why don't you go to the bathroom and you can... take him for a short... Yes, I know you're angry. Give me, like, 2 shimmies of a second to deal with you, kid. I love when my kid's angry, and it's like, give me, like, 2 shimmies of a second to deal with you, kid, and then I will deal with you. Why are you angry? My question is, I thought I just fed you. See, you still didn't catch me. Like, I hate to break it to you, but you still didn't catch me. Can one of you, like, pick this up? I was gonna say, change diaper, give bath. I gotta make sure I do that. You're unhappy for some reason, and I don't know why, because you're all in, like, happy colors. Like, you people make no goddamn sense because you're all in happy colors. But okay. Whatever floats your boat. I need you to finish this job because for real. You're good, Raptor. You're absolutely good. I'm still hungry. Give me a treat. I love how this is real life for me. We'll call this Raptor.com. We sort of need the money, or we wouldn't care normally, but we kind of need the money. Okay, you can use the bathroom. You can go do that. And then I think you can go switch. And then go start using the bathroom and getting what you need done. So I know you're hungry and stuff, and like I know he's hungry and like tired and stuff. Because the kids are more or less self-sufficient now. I know Bart wants to go for a walk, and then she can go and go do what she needs to do. Where'd Bart go? Where the hell did Bart go? She called Bart from somewhere. I just don't know where she called him from. There he is. Can we like not go outside anymore? Is that like the issue? Because that's like part of the issue. We'll go move the kitchen, which was originally the plan anyway. Because this was going to be, we were going to make everything a tiny bit bigger because their family's getting bigger. So we were going to make this like. I don't know what we were going to make it, but we were going to make it slightly bigger. That might have been our whole issue, is we couldn't take Bart for a shorter walk. So actually, now that we can do this, and what we'll do is we'll move the carpet over here. There we go. All the kids should be mostly asleep except him, who he is going to put away. We're gonna actually have to make the kitchen table a little bit bigger. We can make that like. I was gonna say, yeah, we could kind of. One, two, three. 4, 5, 6. That might work. Yeah, that works. Then we can actually make the kitchen slightly bigger. Cool. That actually works. And as long as the dogs can eat, which I kind of want to make sure they can still eat their dinner. Which I don't feel like we should have much of a problem in that aspect. Yep. Yep, they can still eat, and then we'll send this kid out of bed. Nope. We'll let him wait. Hey Wolfie, it is going good. We are currently waking my guy up so he can start his day off again. He's gonna take care of everybody. Of course, he's the first guy up. Since he's the first guy up, I think I'm gonna try to get him. Actually, he doesn't need to work, which is awesome. So if I can get her to work first. Would be kind of great if I could get. Whoops. Entertainment. Yeah. Yep, they're doing very well. I need you before anything else. I need you to work. How's my day going? My day is going really well, actually. I've been up since like 7, so it's actually going really well. Why is the kid already freaking out? Oh, the kid's freaking out because he has to go to the bathroom. I love how my Sims make me do shit, even though they're very capable of doing it on their own. Like, my Sims are more than capable of doing shit on their own. And I don't quite know why they don't do it on their own. They know how to go to the bathroom on their own. They know how to eat on their own, but they make me do it for them, and I don't know why. It's like, dude, you know how to go to the bathroom on your own. I don't know why this is like rocket science to you. Like, I swear to God, my Sims are like helpless sometimes. They really are. Did we not? I know, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That still feels unreal. Are we not like capable of taking the dog for a walk? Why is he not capable of taking a dog for the walk? I don't even know who he currently. He is Smokey, okay. I swear there's this weird glitch in Sims where they won't do anything you ask them to do. And it's really weird. It's like all of a sudden they stop and they don't do anything you ask them. Hold on. I'm not leaving Sims. We're just stopping for a moment because Sims like glitches out and they stop doing what you ask them to do for like a hot minute, and then they're fine, and then it works. But like for like 2 seconds it stops, and then they like the commands you ask them to do they won't do. Cause watch, Eli's not. Okay, and now you're sad. Okay. Can we try this again? We're like... There we go. Actually, no. You... Then you need to eat. And then you need to work. Hack hosting service. I know, it's such a weird glitch that Sims has, and I don't know why. It's a very weird thing that Sims does. Oh no. Nobody tell Drax. Nobody tell Drax that Bart has passed. Oh god. Nobody tell Drax. Nobody tell Drax. Nobody tell Drax. Oh god. Oh god. Well, Drax, or Bart was the oldest, and he was given a good life, so. Oh boy. Oh boy. I knew she was gonna be sad about the dog dying. I knew it. Just for Drax, because he passed. And because Drax was the one that named it. Oh god, that one's pretty tough. Why is Death still here? Everybody's sad, which... Which, I mean, it's fair that everybody's gonna be really sad for a little bit. We're gonna go named for Drax. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. For Drax. Because Drax is the one that named it. My day is going really well. Since you're new here, you're first timer. Hi, my name is Bisky. I am the fiance of Hato Seiken on here on Twitch. I'm a variety streamer. Today we just finished reading Coraline, which we just finished. Took us 2 streams to do that. I do play a lot of other games. We do Sims. We do a lot of not role playing games. We do a lot of what is the word I'm looking for? And the word's escaping me. What is the word? Simulator games. The word was escaping me. A lot of simulator games, although now I have to go into my Discord, which you can happily join if you so choose. So in my Discord tomorrow, we are doing... tomorrow is a very new game. Since it's Halloween, I will be dressing up. We are doing We Harvest Shadows, which I'm very nervous about because I don't do well with horror games, which is funny because I love horror movies. I don't do horror games well. November 1st, which is a Friday, we are doing Supermarket Simulator, which we are doing Bisky's Bodega is the name of my little supermarket. The only reason we're doing Sims4 today is because we just finished Coraline, and there was no other game that I could throw up in like 5 seconds. So that is why we're doing Sims4, just because we didn't want to start a new game and have you guys invested. We could have done something else, I suppose, but oh well. We're invested in this game now. But normally, yeah, we do lots of games, but this is just what we chose to do today. Who is crying in bed? Him. Yes, he's crying it out because he misses his dog. Yeah. We just lost a dog in the game. Are you a full-time streamer or just occasionally? So just got affiliated yesterday, actually, believe it or not. I do actually have a job, believe it or not, as well. As crazy as it sounds. I am a home health grade. But I work later today, and so, I do stream, though, every day from 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 12:30, although I did say today, since I had something come up on stream where I had to be off camera for a little bit, so I'm actually streaming till 1, and so, I'm giving you guys till 1, but yeah, so I enjoy it a lot. Sometimes you guys get 2 streams in a day, which is a very rare occasion, but... And then November 2nd, we are doing a crazy stream, which I'm so excited about, which is pretty much going to consist of a game-a-thon, which originally was going to be to gain up followers, and now it's a celebration stream of becoming an affiliate. So I'm very excited, which is going to be a bunch of games all in one day. We're going to go just start one game, and then throughout the day just change. On that day in particular... We're going to be dressing up during the day, and we're going to be one costume. I don't know what it's going to be yet. And so, yeah, it's going to be very, 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 very exciting. Woo! I flow back and forth for my streams. Hold on. I go back and forth. I do Texas Chainsaw Massacre on my PS5, but then I don't show my face because it's on my PS5, so it's really hard to show my face. So it just depends. Why are you not going to bed, kid? Go to bed, kid. Go to bed, kid. Thank you. We just lost a dog, unfortunately, in the game, so, yeah. And Drax named it, so it's really, yeah, it kind of sucks. Are you fully rested? Thank God. Eat applesauce. Cool, keep it up. I'm gonna support you always. I think you're really good streaming. Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. It's so sweet of you. Very much appreciate the kind words. Yes, everybody's very sad right now because we just lost. That's not gonna be fun explaining to Drex that we just lost the dog. Oi, that's not gonna be a fun conversation. That's not going to be a fun conversation at all to have with Drex when Drex comes on. All my Sims are very, very sad right now because we just lost the dog in the game, so... I do. Like I said, I stream from 9:30 to 12:30 Eastern Standard Time every day. For right now. I don't have it yet on Twitch, but I do have it in my Discord. That's when I stream every day. I've been doing that since October 21st. Yeah, since October 21st. I had to think about that for a moment. But yes, officially since October 21st, I have been streaming. That is officially when I start streaming, which is crazy to think. But that is when I've been... That is officially when I start streaming. Oh my gosh. That is crazy to think. Why is nobody eating at the kitchen table that I nicely built? I mean, I see your name is Charlotte, so that's cool. That's cool. Why are you not doing what I asked you to do? You make more of the money, don't you? I just came to that realization. Yes, everybody's very sad. I am fully aware everybody is super sad. But yes, you may. Yes, my Sims are very, very upset right now. Like, super duper, like, boohoo crazy upset. Oh, hello. Yeah, you may. It's an open space here, you're good. Why are you not feeding your kid? Yeah, you may. I'm not gonna stop you. Why are you not feeding your kid? Very cool. That's very cool. So I'm really bad at that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm terrible at the Discord stuff. My mods usually do it. I don't know if any of my mods are here. My main mod that usually is here is currently at work. So, like, I am, like, absolutely the fuck terrible at that. Like, I'm not even gonna try to lie and tell you that I'm good at that. So, like, I would either have to wait till my next stream or whatever. Like, he is not here. Like, straight up, he's not here. So, like, I would physically have to wait till my main mod is here to tell you. And we all know Hato's my main mod. Like, we all know he's my main mod who does, like, half, if not all the work here. So, yeah, sorry about that. I don't know how to do all that quite yet. And I do apologize. Okay. Okay, because you're in a good mood, I need you to make a video game. Do you have Instagram or Twitter? No, I don't have either. Both are kind of personal and I don't really use them per se. I only give out my Twitch and that's really it. Everything else is kind of personal. And I don't per se give it out. So I just use um Twitch and Twitch only, so oh, that's so cute. Oh my god, that's so adorable. I know the kids are like sad because they lost their dog. I actually kind of forgot what animal we lost. Like, they are really sad they lost the dog. They are extremely sad they lost the dog. Oof. You know, I almost wonder if, like, helping them. Hold on. Where the hell's the option? Hire service, no. Entertainment, no. There we go. There you go. Adopt a cat. Oh. Is that a raccoon? That's what I thought that was a raccoon. I'm like, is that a raccoon? I need you not to be sad, is the thing. The problem is, I need you not to be sad. Hopefully this will cheer everybody up just a little on having 2 new furry friends. We'll do Romeo. Hopefully this will make you happier. This is not how normally it goes. Hopefully this will make you slightly happier and you'll be less sad. Knowing my luck, I reversed the 2 names, and Romeo and Juliet are actually the opposite, and Romeo is actually, yeah, I might have absolutely reversed the 2. You know, whoops. Yeah, knowing my dumb ass, I probably reversed the 2, and Romeo is actually the girl, and Juliet's actually the boy. I know, I know. Kid's like really sad for some reason. I think part of the reason the kid just being sad is the kid's sad because of the death of the dog, and I think that's part of the reason why the kid is sad. Low-key not even gonna lie, that could be like... Oh, I just turned the volume on my headset a ton. Everybody's very sad right now. So we're trying to cheer everybody up to the best of my knowledge. I'm very bad at it, though. actually. Soon Mickey will be old enough. Ow. I didn't mean to hit myself in the head. Feed food to the toddler. There. We're gonna try to take care of the kids. We're gonna try to make the kids feel happy. How are the two of you still sad? Oh my god. Elliot's still sad about something. Checking on Elliot. Kid, you have school tomorrow. You need to go to bed. My kid is not wanting to go to bed. Oh, the hell you say? Go to bed. I beg you, deal with your kid, please. I asked you to give your kid food. Okay. No, no, no. Dude, you're gonna drive me insane. You are gonna drive me up a wall insane, dude. There. And then, why, you're happy. Well, ish happy. As happy as you're going to be. You're gonna go eat. You're gonna offer a friendship to the cat. We're gonna make sure that Cashew eats. Is your views high enough yet? Today's been a little slow, which I kind of expect just because today just started off really weird, which I hope on November 2nd it's gonna be crazy busy. I hope. So. That's weird. Hato said that he put a thing on. So, yeah, Hato said he put a mod on so I could have more people, and I still can have more people. So, crap. Weird. I'll have to see what's going on. We're gonna feed him, and then we're gonna let him go to bed early because he's all stressed out. I love how all my kids are stressed out. Whoopsies. That wasn't really part of the plan, but... Good, now everybody's getting less stressed the fuck out. Finally. Yeah, I'm gonna have to text Hato that his mod didn't work because his mod kind of failed. That sucks. Cause I was trying to have more kids. I wanted to have one more kid, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. Maybe in the next game I will. What are you so stressed out about? Oh, he might want to go to bed after... Yeah, he's definitely going to bed after this. Not in one house, I can't. Jeez. Not in one house, I can't. Jesus Christ, Raptor. You hungry too, kid? Or are you just... Yeah, you're hungry too. Why did we miss, like, everything I asked you to do for the toddler? Prove it. I can't. The mod that I asked Hato to put on did not work. Which is kind of a bummer. Why is the cat... Where is the cat, first off? Okay. No, you don't get to go to bed until you take care of your kid. You don't get to bed until you take care of your kid. You need to make this cat happy. We need to see what's wrong with him because he's sad about something. I just don't know what. Okay. So that's Romeo's issue. We don't have enough litter boxes, which, to be fair, just like any real cat, that's a fair statement. That's a very fair statement why he would be upset. I cleaned the litter box, cat. Smokey is hungry. What the hell? Hold on. Sorry, I heard barking. And the dog scared the crap out of me. I thought it was them. And then I ran down the stairs like a bat out of hell, and it wasn't even my dogs. It was a dog outside. So, my dogs looked at me like I was crazy. And of course my Sim's like out of breath and tired. Whoopsies. In like absolute fairness, I was trying to send him to bed. I know it. Smokey's adorable. All my kids are like damn night owls. And of course Smokey's running away. Don't worry, he'll come back. This is like the second time for whatever reason Smokey ran away. Or is it Smokey last time? I don't know. It was somebody ran away. And don't worry, he comes back. I don't know why, but they like run away and then they come back. And it's like a real dog, sort of. But they don't always come back. But in this case, in the game, they do. So what you do... alert to the missing pet. Go to the computer. You just put out the alert that the pet's missing. Eli, put the alert out. Eli can eat now. Oh, Bart. Oh. That's a little creepy that she can play with him. Okay. That's cool. That's really creepy that she can play with the ghost dog. Apparently, she needs to take care of her kid who's like. Oh, the kid's sad because the pet's missing. Okay. And then give food. I know he's got the better job, but he needs to eat. Yes, I know Eli's thing. I know Eli's thing is coming up. The girl needs to play with the cat. I. That way, mom can be sad and take care of the kid. Eli's having a hard time with her job. Really is. I don't know what it is. Eli's having a tough time though. Oh, thank God Mickey's gonna be old enough soon to take care of herself. It's self themself. Smokey's returned! Yay! We are saving that because I swear to frickin' God, Smokey's always the one getting out. He's got one day to fucking finish this, I swear to God. Them, not him. Them. Come on. You've got one day to finish this. Like, straight the hell up. We'll call this, SmokeyHouse.com. Okay, he needs to go to the bathroom, and then he needs to have fun, he needs to eat, and then he needs to sleep. All in that order. He needs to have fun. He needs to eat. He needs to sleep. She needs to sleep. He needs to sleep. Dog needs a bath. Dog needs a bath. Preferably in that order. At least we got Smokey back. That's what's important. Then why don't you go to the bathroom? I told you 3 times to go to the bathroom. Wow, Olive is all grown up. Look at that. So now that Olive's all grown up, we gotta make her look grown up. So we gotta get to that phase of like teenager phase. I just realized something. I was really quiet because I got way too into the game, which is hilarious. I told you, this game. Oh man, this game. I got way too into the game. Plus, nobody's here. Plus, there's outside noise. So, what are we gonna make her look like? Let's see. We can make her look totally. We can make her look so many ways. Like, oof. We can make her rebellious. We can make her short-haired, long-haired. I'm kind of digging that look. I'm kind of digging that look. I am. I'm digging that look. Wait, where'd the look go we just had a minute ago? Oh man, we just lost the look we had. We just lost the look we had. Damn it. Yeah, it was that look. With glasses, yeah. Yeah. So then top wise. I'm digging that look. I'm totally digging this look. Every day. Nice, formal. Workout. Yeah. Pajamas. No shoes. Party. I don't like that look. Hold on. What the hell's with the bandana? I don't like the bandana around her neck for whatever reason. There we go. I'm digging that look. Then we'll go... Okay. So for hot days... For cold days we'll do... Yeah. For everyday look though, we'll do that. Hell yeah. I like it. So we're hitting 1 o'clock, which means my stream is pretty much almost over, which we went over pretty much a half an hour over what we normally do. Don't get used to it though, because we don't normally do that. We're gonna go feed Smokey, although Smokey is eating currently. I don't understand. Smokey should be happy and hungry. Alright, well. Smokey should be happy. So. Oh, he is now. Okay. It just took a minute to load in. Okay. So now my character, Olive, who is the oldest of the family, should have time to, like, get a job now and should even be more stressed out than they were before. Which is, like, not fun, but, you know, realistically, like, that is something that is real. So, yay, and now it is my turn to go and be real and take care of my dogs, because they are patiently waiting for me. Although they were fed and everything this morning, it's not like they were completely neglected. And where did the cats go? Okay, the cats are missing. Okay, I'm just not having any luck with cats in this game. Like, I'm just not. So, we're not doing cats anymore with this. The cats literally... Like, cats keep glitching out of this game. I kid you not. Cats keep glitching the fuck out of this game. I don't know why. And it's actually starting to creep me out a little. The cats keep glitching out of this game. And it's extremely creepy that cats keep glitching out of this game. But in any case, I hope you guys had fun, because I sure as had fun playing this game with you guys, playing an extra half an hour more than I normally play. We're gonna go find somebody to raid really fast though. We're gonna go do something for my characters really fast before we forget to do it. Have signs baby with you before we forget to do it. So we have Olive, Elliot, Mickey, and depending on if we have another one, will either be Jasper or Jacoby. Just depends. Jasper could be a girl name, which we're gonna... Jennifer. Wow, we had... Oh, God. We had 2 girls. Oh, God. Hell, Das, Fury. This is gonna be interesting. Wow. I wasn't expecting that. Great. Okay, really quick. We're just gonna get this job done real fast and hope and pray he can get it done in like 2 seconds. Cool. It was tough, but he got it done. Okay, who are we rating out today? Let's go find that answer out. We are going to rate out Raina. Thank you guys for joining in. I really, really appreciate it. I had so much fun, and as always, please go give Raina some love, and thank you for joining my stream. I always have fun. I need to spell her name right. Angade. And you guys are absolutely great. I don't know who's even here anymore, but you guys are great. So, one viewer. I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.